So hi and welcome back, and yes, I'm back in the UK. I'm back down by the river. For those who do want to know, I was actually in Portugal, and I was kind of inland a bit. I was in a place called Silves. There's a friend who's lived there, and I was helping them out for a few days, more than a few days. Anyway, so now I'm back, and I've now got a load of cameras filled with film, with different film, halfway through with halfway done videos. So today I've got my Minolta, and I've got a 50mm lens I'm testing out, but you'll see that video. Done some stuff in London with it. I want to finish this film off. It's a slide film, and see how good this 50mm lens is for a Minolta 50mm. I just wanted to see what it would look like. So today what we're doing is I found some old negatives, and you're going to see two lots. The first lot is they're both 2 1/4 square negatives, and one of them is a film. I don't want to say, I almost slipped out what the film's called, but I won't tell you what the film's called, and we'll talk about it at the end. But it was one of those films that they used to give away free with when you had your film processing, and I'm like, when I looked at it, I'd never actually used a film. I saw someone else's prints, and I was like, this is really good, and the whites are really good, the skin tones are really good, and I thought, I've got to use this. So I tried it, and I never used it once. So I've just got into using Darktable and being able to edit my negatives in that. So I did this with this particular film, and it was so easy to do it. And I had some Fuji professional film negatives, and it was an absolute pain, but I'll explain that when I show you them. I'll show you those first, and then I'll show you the other film that I used. And bearing in mind that this was given away, this film was given away back in the late 90s, early 2000s as a free film. And when you see the results I got with it, I'm like, I was so amazed. And I've got a couple of the rolls of film at home which are 20 years expired, and I've had one of the films developed and it's not very good. Anyway, let's take a look at these shots. Okay, so first off, I'm actually recording with another monitor than the one I've been using. I've got two, the one on the left, one on the right. I'd normally record on the right hand side monitor, and I've been looking at these pictures on there, and they look kind of blown out, and I'm thinking that may be a problem. The problem is that when you use monitors to do a screen capture, you're kind of getting what's there, and if the color balance and the saturation and all the different things are wrong, you're never going to be able to see what it's like unless you have the screens properly calibrated, and I can't do that. So what I'm doing is I'm using my other monitor with these color negatives I've got, just to see how they work, see what you think, see if it's any better than the other ones. Having said that, these are color. So we're going to start off with the two on the far right hand side, and these taken in a studio setup I had at my friend's house, and this is the Fuji NPS I was talking about at the start of the video. And there is something wrong with these. I'm going to open these up, and it's going to go to the other screen. Yeah, it's gone to the other screen, so we'll bring it back over. Okay, so you can see on here it looks kind of weird. Okay, let's forget about the damage mark on the boy's hand, but you can see the color difference. It goes from one side to the other side, and I was trying to balance this up, and this side was too yellow and this side was too blue, and I'm thinking there's something wrong, and suddenly realized it was the negative. The negative have obviously faded, and it's caused this effect. Now this is more what it should be like, and less like this. It wasn't cold, it was quite a bright and warm yellowy, bluey, cloudy type color. I think it was called cedarwood, the actual background back in the day. And I had this with both negatives. So I don't know whether it was down to processing. I don't know whether it was down to the negatives. They were both stored exactly the same. So the actual negatives would have been kept the same over the past, oh crumbs, this has been about 1998. So they've been kept the same. So there should be no difference to my Konica. So the likelihood is the negatives have faded because of perhaps maybe processing. I don't know. But that's what I've got. And I think I'll go this way. Is it this way? There we go. Again, you've got this kind of strange yellow to blue effect across the background as well. I know they're only lit from one side. You can clearly see that by the shadow. I did have both lights working, but you can see like a drop off on the side here. So I think I may have just been using the one light at the time with like a softbox. So this was NPS, and now we're going to look at the mystery film. And the mystery film was given away as a 35mm free film with processing. Okay, so you get a 24 exposure film sent back to you. I think you paid about £3.50 or something like that for plus postage and packing for the film process, and then send you back this film with it. And it was one I really looked down on until I actually saw someone else with them, and I'm like, my goodness, these are great shots, or great, film. But just to give you an idea of the difference between just how easy it is to change the color of something and get it wrong. I've got two shots, and the boy's name is actually Ben. His real name is Ben. And if I open these two up, you'll see there's a difference between this photograph and this photograph. Now this one's got a tiny hint of blue, and this one is a bit warmer, and I prefer this one, which I call Ben 1, to this one here. Okay, so you can see it's these would have been taken on a Veronica SQB, because that's what I had at the time, and I used to love working with it. It gave me the most amazingly sharp images, as you can see. And again, as I say, when you're doing, I was using the dark table package, and this one's really, really warm, but I checked, and I think from what I can tell that these were taken in September or late August in the year we took them. I don't know if we can tell, because I know you can see the time on his phone. So it's 3:01 in the afternoon. So it was like mid-afternoon. But you can just see just how lovely and sharp and clean that is as an image. I know there's some dust marks on it. I should have cleaned them up, but you know me. But the color rendition, and especially the whites, are absolutely stunning. I mean, they're so clean. And there's another few photographs of Ben by himself, and these are just like different. When you use the software on Darktable, it's kind of difficult and quite fiddly, but I'm still really pleased with the results, even though they've got slightly different tones. I mean, come on, back in the day when you did film photography, did you ever get 3 or 4 shots on your prints that looked the same? No, you never did, not unless they were hand printed. So this is like going back to the old days and like developing a film and then printing it and getting slightly different tonal ranges on each. And this is the one that I was talking about, and you can just see, look at the white on that top. It is just amazing. And the skin tone is so good, and yeah, I really love it. I'll tell you at the end. You'll hear at the end what this film is. As I say, I had to buy this film. It wasn't one of the free because it was a medium format. And I used to get I think it's still going. I think it's a company called Peak Imaging up in Sheffield that used to do my processing for me on these. And the 35mm I used to get, I've got a few shots at the end to show you of that. Just another one of the two of them together. Again, the colours, the saturation is absolutely fantastic. And it was, I haven't tried to enhance this. I've only used the basic corrections that the software had. I didn't like pump up the saturation. That's as it was when it converted, with just the hue changes. And this one's slightly yellow. I've done a bit more tweaking on that to get the white a bit better. And again, skin tone looks really, really good. This really does kind of represent what the day was like from what I mean, it was back in the 90s, so it was a long time ago. But Ben, I think I don't know how old he is now, but yeah, you can see just how clean. You can see all the stitching in the top, and that one was obviously taken before. The time's 2:40 something there. And now we're on, this is a 35mm film taken different time of the year. It's obviously start of autumn, and I love it. I love the greens. I love the way. It's just such a nice film. The grain is quite fine as well for 100 speed, so it's not too bad at all. Okay, and I just took a few of these from these negatives I had in my case, and this one's slightly warmer, and yeah, that one's not so good at all. And then we're back to the portraits of Dylan, the NPS. But anyway, what do you think? I love this film, and I love the film because they used to give it away for free on 35mm, so that was really, really cool. Anyway, you're just about to find out what this film was. Okay, so now I can reveal it's Konica VX100 film, and I was just so impressed with it. And it's a pity I only used 2 or 3 rolls of film because I was so obsessed with Fuji, and I wish I hadn't been, because it's such a good film, and it was, I don't know. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.